And Coral
Alright.
Carnage Knockout. See you guys here in a sec. Oh, no intro. That's right, because I hate this map.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I actually... So unlike Lurelak Crest, I actually recorded the video footage for this one. I've got that much edited. I do just have to slap a song onto it. But goddamn if I'm not motivated to.
I could just drag this file and make sure it doesn't cut out randomly, but...
Yeah, in a nutshell. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, time is of the essence for Bly, and hopefully we won't take too long. Spawning in the bottom left side of Coral Carnage Knockout, it's going to be the blue Zerg Bly. And I imagine we'll see early pulls every game in the series due to the time constraints.
I think so. And that's middle right, as the red Zerg, it is Nerchio.
So now, there's two big dynamics to this. One is Nerchio, for a long time, has had Bly's number. They know each other well, they used to be on a team, and God knows they had some of the best ZvZs when ZvZ was boring. You know, they'd go Broodlord versus Broodlord and other silly things. But if Nerchio quickly realizes that Bly's upset about time, and he realizes it's going to be just constant all-ins, the two best things Nerchio could do to win this game, and win this series, would be draw out the games and piss Bly off, or just defend well against the said all-ins. So he goes for a gas pool first, which isn't bad for a choice, but this is also pretty bad for Bly, considering his gas and pool timing is really dependent on Nerchio not doing anything except for a hatchery first.
Yeah. So, you know, I agree. Bly will probably go for an early pull every single game. But unfortunately, early pulls don't guarantee fast games. Even if you super all in, which is what he's doing. He's going for a Bailing Nets as well. We have seen 12-minute games that started from an early pool that only ever got the 2 bases, but still lasted that long because there's constant trading and they're just on even skill level. Whether they know they're doing it and they do defend as hard countering as possible, or they figure that next time you won't and they get caught off guard, both can turn into very long games. It would really be up to Bly to be the guy that was like, okay, this didn't work, let's just tap out, which he wants to get the games done quickly, but Bly has rarely been that guy, to be like, oh, that didn't work, tap out. Like, oh, that didn't work, tap out. He would like to win, even if he needs to get it done quickly.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's one thing to consider where Bly actually is not a, like, we're talking about this like he's making shitty decisions. Bly's not a bad player. He gets a great bailing hit to start this off. Speed's a huge deal for him. He's going to be looking to knock the base down of Nerchio, but instead decides to go for the main instead. I just said twice. Good speaking skills. The spine card gets focused down immediately. He doesn't speak good. But Nerchio, despite having what looked like a great setup to this, isn't holding so well. His own banelings get popped off. The queen dies. He's got 6 lings in production, but Bly's already on top of this.
No. Well, the hatchery's still alive, so Nerchio, as long as he doesn't lose any more drones, I think he'll recover.
It's going to be hard to really make up that difference, though, because Bly's got a ling lead, and he's going to keep that ling lead for a little bit of time. Even though Nerchio's got the home field advantage, he continues to produce over here. If Bly would just take the time to make a bailing, yep, there we go, a bailing or two, and segment him to the side, that puts a lot more pressure on Nerchio than it does for Bly. And he is still struggling to get these lings across the map, but he is still producing just straight-up lings. And if it's going to be 11 lings to 13 for the rest of the game, it does slightly favor Bly.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to get the drone line, and...
Oh, he gets the lings. That was the biggest deal. He gets the bailing.
Yeah,
That's going to win game number 1.
Wow. The hardest counter that Bly could, or that Nerchio will ever think of, still won't be able to deal with Bly.
Well, okay, that wasn't the hardest counter, let's be honest, but that was still a very good build for what Bly was doing. But
I can't actually think of a time where I've seen such a hard counter as in, like, they send the lings and bailings in and they don't do anything. Like, it seems that the early pool, and that's why Bly likes to do them, can always do something.
Well, it's going to be Dust Towers next, Nerchio's pick. So maybe good guy Nerchio just knows that Bly is going to be in a rush and not do a bunch of gasless builds or something. I was going to say that the hardest counter that we've seen to things like this was actually the intention to cancel a natural base, put the double spines in the main, and SimCity off your actual whole mineral line with evolution chambers and queens and spots and whatnot. But Nerchio not going that direction we saw how that resulted. So either way, Dust Towers is going to be the next map. We got the intro for this, and we'll see you guys in a moment. All right, we are back, and it is game number 2 here in the Best of 5 finals for the Corsair Cup. I would like to remind everybody to check out the links down below here on the Twitch page and look at some of that wonderful Corsair gear. They sponsor this tournament every single week, and they have quite a good selection of very high-quality products to choose from. But spawning on the top right side of Dusk Towers, we've got the blue Zerg. It's going to be Euronics Gaming's Nerchio.
The bottom left as the red Zerg, it is Bly.
Who doesn't actually go for the early pool. Interesting.
I guess since the last game went so quickly, he figures he has 2 more minutes to go for a regular build. I actually don't know when exactly his Gauntlet game is. It's live right now, but I guess they pushed his back to the next series. So I guess maybe he has more time than we thought.
Okay. Regardless of whether... I mean, there is outside pressure affecting the situation, sure. But I think what I love about this is Bly is competitive in nature. He's determined to win. We see him get salty on Twitter and take shots fired at people. Like he's the guy to hold grudges too. But with Nerchio, again, there's just this history of, at least on our stream, I'm not saying it's like this on ladder all the time, but at least on our stream of casting the two, regularly Nerchio's the one who wins. So it's certainly cool to see Bly take the first game in this series, and it looks promising for him so far. Now he plays really greedy. He's got those balls of steel here, as he does take 3 hatcheries so quickly.
Something we saw Nerchio do in the last series. A little karma or something, whatever you want to call it. So Bly's going to get away with it, it looks like. Well, maybe not. Bly does throw down a Baneley nest fairly quickly, but mind you, he still does not know Bly is going for 3 hatch. It might just be coincidental, and a good coincidence for him if he was going to attack anyway. Because really, Bly would not have a lot to defend with. But I guess Nerchio, not going for that speed, isn't really looking to attack, was just looking to defend against what could have been an early pool. By now, you would have seen the Lings, at least the reinforcement Lings, run by that Overlord of his, though. So, it's not. And unfortunately, Nerchio will just have to deal with kind of losing out on the mental edge for sure. Bly is one out here with a 3 hatch for a pool.
I mean, yes. It's weird though, because this is such a... I don't even know how to really describe this. Like, this is such a passive play out of Bly. It just feels weird. Like, it almost feels like we're not playing and casting with Bly. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, I know what you mean. But soon enough, when speed's done, he could just turn that switch on. It's like, okay, I was passive right now, but now, now I'm not gonna be. And Nerchio, in fact, cancels his Ling speed, which I think is an okay reaction because he realized he's gonna be down in economy, but he's also going to have a much tougher time dealing with Ling attacks if he doesn't have his own.
I would actually really enjoy if he, instead of going for Ling speed, just went straight to a Roach Warren. Because one of the big things for Bly is on 3 bases especially, I predict and expect him to go to something like Mutas. It's just what he's been doing. It's how he's been winning games. And let's be honest, Mutas are a little bit overpowered right now, it feels, in some instances. Especially on a map like Dusk Towers. So if Nerchio goes for some big all-in and he hits Bly before he gets to that point, maybe it works. At the same time, even if Bly isn't going for Mutas, even if Bly is actually going to invest in these Roaches and not just go for like 6 and then move into Mutas behind it, it's still a situation where Nerchio is going to be prepared to fight what's on the field. Basically what I'm saying is I don't want to see Nerchio go Mutas.
Okay. Yeah. They both still have the opportunity to do so. Bly a little bit more with that faster lair right here, and he does get a nice scout into the main base. For Nerchio, I worried that he was going to really fall behind because of the openers. Is doing. As I said, I like that he skipped speed, just went straight for those Roaches. Is not looking so bad on that drone front. His drones have to be full here, and that kind of sucks. But he has Roaches on the way now.
Oh, excuse me. One single one died. That's not bad though.
There you go. There you go. Well, the Roach attack Nope. Nerchio does start to drone. I was curious because we still don't have a lair or an evolution chamber for Nerchio if he was just going to try and all in. But even if he did, I don't think it would have worked. Bly is already on his way to his own Roaches and getting a lot of them. He can afford speed as well. There is finally an evolution chamber for Nerchio. Slow Lings, again, mind you. So Dusk Towers is never the map where you're like, oh my god, Lings can do a lot here because 3 or 4 bases are easily protected by having your army in the same position, unlike other maps. But still, like, Ling's speed, Ling counterattacks have brought back games in big ways, and they can provide some pretty important buffer. It is just going to be those slow Lings for now, for Nerchio, dealing with Bly's initial Roach push, but he's joining behind it, he's getting a Spire behind it. He is not sticking on Roaches, and that's something Nerchio would need to scout. Another thing Speedlings are good for.
So I'm just writing something down really quick, for the lazy camera work, guys.
Well, the game...
So, I mean, the Spire was to be predicted, I think, right? Not just because of the map or the way the openings went, but it's Bly. I mentioned this before, really reiterating the fact that this is something that Nerchio as well should be expecting. I kind of at this level where, like, okay, I acknowledge that Rifkin is not the smartest caster there is in the universe. But if Rifkin knows what you're going to do, surely someone like Nerchio does. And as he comes across the map with his Roach army, he's not going to find no defense out of Bly. But if he can overwhelm early, then he won't have to even worry about the mutas. But he's falling back.
Well, one of the problems is that Bly did show a nice amount of Roaches. That was not like 4 and you could kind of call their bluff, or 0. It was quite a few, and they looked like they were going to attack. And his Overlord still sees Roaches. Now, it would have been a little suspicious if he was really like looking at his own Overlord, would be the lack of speed. But I don't think Nerchio ever got scouting on when Bly took his lair. No. Very limited scouting for Nerchio. He might have pulled back because he thought there would be an overwhelming Roach count and there was no use in attacking. He might have pulled back because there was no use in attacking if he knew mutas were about to pop out and you just lose most of your Roaches anyway. There's a lot of reasons why Nerchio backed off right there, and we're just not sure. And I'm thinking he doesn't know either. Again, that scouting very limited. So kind of teeter-tottering between attacking and defending, going back home and going back.
If he stays in the middle of the map, that's actually the worst place he could be. Because with the mutas coming out, he'll start bleeding out Ravagers and Roaches. Whereas if he's attacking, at least he's trading out those units. Whereas if he's at home, he's defended by the Spore Crawlers. So I think Nerchio's teeter-totter through the middle of the map. I'm glad he's finally not, because he would die.
Yeah, I think like 40 seconds ago, he was like, okay, it's going to be mutas, because that's when he threw in all the Spore Crawlers, started making extra Queens, got the Infestation Pit, so he was a little prepared, but not like as much as you would have hoped, and his Queens are getting picked off one at a time, and it's already kind of getting that snowball effect. Bly has a ton of minerals here to put back on. I'm
surprised. I mean, Nerchio's got the Hydras coming out. This looks a little bit shaky to start with all those Queens going down. Takes away from some of the injects as well, and of course they're not banking transfuses while this goes on.
Muta count continuing to grow. They're going to get a +1 upgrade, but Bly is thinking about switching back into Roaches. He's getting that Roach speed. He's also getting an Evolution Chamber to start his +1. That is the one downside for him, is that his upgrades aren't very good if he does swap back into ground. But his Muta's doing so well, I'm a little surprised. He's gotten up to 15 and then is going to stop, I guess. He could have really snowballed up to 20, 25, but it's, oh, no, wait a minute. 6 more Mutas on the way. A lot more Lings, too. Maybe he's still working with a lot of options, because he has a lot of economy. He's on 67 drones, on 4 bases. He can kind of, choose where he wants to go and change his mind, up to a point, obviously. And he has a bunch of Roaches and Lings waiting outside, I guess just trying to pull the army, literally in half. Hydras up here, Roaches and Lings down there. Something that Bly's ground army could take on with a 20 army supply lead.
The amount of Mutalisks is certainly getting a bit daunting, but at the same time, 1 sick fungal, a couple of corrosive biles, because let's not forget, it's not just about Queens anymore. If those mutas are stacked and stuck in a fungal, the corrosive biles are going to kill him faster than anything else. So Bly's got to be so careful. He had this really nice lead through these units, but these could also be his downfall in the game.
Oh, whoa. Bly taking this hidden base. Always a cool tactic to see with mutas. Something we see maybe, I don't know what number I'm going to throw out here, 15% of the time we see mutas is a base that is either hidden or taken far away, because it makes sense. You're in a lot of control right now. But I think eventually people will start to scout for those. The attack at the front, however, went in favor of Nerchio, who did have his entire army consolidated. That's part of the reason why these mutas are going ham on the drone line, that the Hydras went forward.
Yeah, Nerchio comes out of the back end of this with half the worker count remaining, and Bly's still making more mutas where this came from. But at the end of the day, if Nerchio's army is big enough to win a good fight, and it is, then that might not be such a big consequence. And that's where that muta base trade, extra hidden base, like all these other dynamics come into the equation. But Bly is going to catch a lot of these Hydras that are spawning one at a time. This is going to kind of suck. Nerchio's in trouble. Like, make no mistake. Nerchio is straight up in trouble.
He's chasing the army of Bly here. I think he might really be hoping that whenever he does clean this up, he'll be able to push with the main army and win, like in a one last attempt. But Bly is totally set up for a base trade. He is going towards base trade mentality here by committing more to mutas and getting spine crawlers.
Yeah.
And he cannot win a base trade. He may be able to win a fight, but...
Well, what's scary for this is Bly... If Nerchio takes all of his army across the map to base trade, then there's nothing to stop Bly. I mean, he'll eventually fight the spore crawlers, but rather than do that, he decides to start coming back home. The spines buy a little time, the mutas bring the damage. There's really not a lot here for Nerchio. With no fungal growth readily available, actually, excuse me, there's one. But even then, these mutas aren't as clumped as they were before. Hydras will take a decent fight. Corsair Biles are going to hit. Oh, actually not. Fungal growth lands just a little too early, I suppose. But the Hydra's being focused down. The Spore Crawler getting some good hits, but now there's no anti-air, and unless Bly makes a mistake and flies into a Corrosive Bile, there's not even fungals to hold him in place. That's going to be game 2.
That is game. Nerchio still holding on, hoping for those really, really devastating Corrosive Bile shots. And certainly with the way that he's clumping, they would be devastating, but he's totally in control, and Bly knows what he's doing, and Bly's going to take a 2-0.
Now, unfortunately, Bly, who was begging and pleading for a best of 3 instead of a best of 5, to be a little bit sad he didn't get that best of 3. But going 2 up in this series versus Nerchio certainly feels good. I'll tell you that much, because Nerchio's not an easy Zerg player to beat. In fact, I would argue he is one of the toughest Zerg players to beat. He was the one who, of course, qualified for the DreamHack EU Challenger for tours.
This is when, you know, you tell Bly to always be in a hurry when facing Nerchio. You're doing so well. This last Spore Crawler defense. Yeah. Why not? Why not? There's 4 of them. That's usually like a really significant amount, or 5 even, but they all went down eventually. And
GG. Bly will take a 2-0 lead. We are going to take an ad break, and we will get back for game number 3 ASAP, because we don't want to hold these guys up. So stick around. We'll see you guys soon. Alright, folks, we're back for game number 3. It's not tied up, excuse me, that's wrong. But it is 2-0 for the guy in the bottom left, spawning with a pool and a gas, and oh, his opponents go for hatchery first. This could be it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Bly.
in the top left as the blue Zerg, it's Nerchio.
Now, this doesn't have to mean an auto loss. And we've seen people make impossible situations work. But the likelihood of that is low. Bly's build works so perfect for this because of the map, because of these incredibly short rush distances. And Nerchio may be just hoping that Bly wasn't willing to do something like this after playing, say, a game with mutas, but this is not a build that's going to work out well for Nerchio, that's for certain.
So, what is interesting is the choice of Arena. You almost it's almost like a bait to early pool. It's just so common, right? And there is a difference in other maps compared to Arena, where Arena allows you the opportunity to go for a gasless defense, which I believe Nerchio is going to attempt to do. Now, it's a good defense, especially done well. You know, the execution is there, and it should be for Nerchio, but it is not the perfect counter build, although sometimes it can actually look like it, done absolutely correctly. It relies on queens. It relies on, maybe losing a couple of drones, but eventually being able to push it back and still have that advantage because of the lack of gas that, you gave up for it.
Tenlings are going to be plenty for Nerchio to fight with, but lacking speed, lacking banelings. The hatchery's not going to go down right here and right now, but that's not to say it won't.
Yeah, I have faith in Nerchio here for this defense. If Spinecrawler comes down, these shouldn't be the only 2 queens we see. There should be more. I think upwards of 4 or even 5 for that really solid defense. The worry is still that these speedlings that are eventually about to finish up here, there we go, of Bly will still be able to get around the queens and the spine crawlers and, you know, actually kill drones. It's still a possibility. But Bly's got to know this is a popular build, and he's probably had to deal with this on Arena tons and tons of times before. Getting the hatchery is obviously a worry, and looks like it might just happen here. Nerchio has no problem denying him from the main, but...
The queens coming from the ramp are a little alarming. I mean, he had that block to make sure these banelings weren't going to go anywhere, to make sure the lings weren't going to go anywhere. These last couple of banelings looking for some amazing hits. The queen snipes one, and that's well done, but now the banelings, oh, looking for the hit. Do get them on the lings. Only 2 remain, means he can now kill that hatchery with relative ease. And I'd say the biggest part about this, maybe not relative ease, I take that back, it's a way for reinforcements, but the biggest thing this cuts out is larva for Nerchio. Like, this really will kill his larva count.
Yes, that is certainly true. But that's where hopefully the queen production and maybe another spine color can really help out. The fact that this one's getting rooted in the front lines is really good. 3, 4 banelings for the finish up here.
I'm impressed with Nerchio's play so far, I gotta say. I didn't think this would hold as well as it did.
Oh.
Well, cast a curse!
Yeah, it still isn't enough though. Like, queens can take a beating. The spine crawler is still alive, and that I think is the most important thing. It hasn't been surrounded yet. It hasn't been focused by banelings. But Bly is not giving up. He's gonna, you know, do what Bly does best and keep persevering here. The defense might just be solidified, but there is a problem in that Bly could just
go north.
Yeah, he could have committed everything to it and probably still been okay.
This is Nerchio still doesn't have speed while this goes on either. I mean, this wasn't a bad defense before, but attempting to counter with slowlings versus speedlings.
Yeah, that was an odd decision. That was probably... You know, the hatcher going down is probably going to be the game end, but also losing your lings, and have to make more lings, it's, you know, it's just... snowball effects. Nerchio was very close, you know, a couple of queens still alive, the spine crawler had gone down a little bit earlier, and maybe the hatch doesn't get as low as it did. But that's what happened, and Bly took the opportunity to just, you know, tap it a little bit, and it went down. And now Bly could macro out of this, which he's trying to do. Jesus. So I don't think that Bly will be able to break him with 3 spine crawlers, but he's gonna try. The creep wasn't too far out, so there was a little bit room to maneuver. But Bly just goes for the queen and the spine crawlers anyway. F the rules. He actually wants to end this game, but the nice focus fire on the spine crawler at the last second there.
I think one of the things that's funny though is Bly's actually expanding behind this. I guess it's not funny like haha, but just interesting to see that this game developed in a way where he could. Now, that's a lot of lings coming out for Nerchio. The timing on this is going to be a little bit janky with these banelings. Look like they're not quite going to get to finish.
The problem is not only that Nerchio lost a hatchery and now Bly's up a hatchery, it's that Bly has really no fear of a counterattack. Even if he loses all of his lings and banelings, as long as he can buy just enough time to get like 2 banelings, he's going to have a really good time defending. And Nerchio is going to be really hard-pressed to find an opportunity where he could actually send slowlings across the map and get drones, get a queen, like, definitely not get the hatchery. And that's where Bly really wins out, I feel, and just the amount of comfort you have. Now, if Nerchio had never lost a base, and he was starting to drone from it, then Bly is starting to sweat. Like, he's falling behind economy-wise. But he's going to cancel another hatchery, and I think he's got this game on lockdown with the second hatchery kill. And not even a kill.
Not a cancel, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Spines at the ramp are just barely, the second one's just barely not in range. I mean, Nerchio has really, really gone ham with not wanting to die in this situation, but Bly is slowly whittling his way in, slowly chipping into the base of Nerchio, pushes past the spines into the drone line. And these banelings don't even need great connects. They just need to go on the zerglings, not the drones, but okay, still works either way. Finally bleeding out some of these workers. Nerchio's got 16 workers, so he's still got saturation to mine off this, but I mean, it's still 1 base. Bly's on 2.
Yeah. Yep. Now up 7 drones. Oh, maybe one more. Okay, well, close enough. Now up 8 drones. Stop droning. The I mean, Nerchio doesn't have to tap out. I'm not really judging Nerchio quite yet, but it is like if there's another cancel, like there's I don't think there's any recovering.
No, this is Nerchio's like final farewell. Blah, you have to play the gauntlet? Well, good luck being there on time.
Maybe, please. Mm. Hard to talk about anything more. I mean, we've already kind of laid out the basics for you guys. I guess Blag going for Roachborn is finally maybe looking for that power move. The actual kill here.
So Nerchio's do all these spine crawls, which a lot of things hilarious. I would actually have much preferred to see some Sim City with something like an evolution chamber. Like if we're actually going to talk about turtling up and trying to stay in this game as long as possible and not dying, like an evolution chamber wall with some spines behind it would go a long way. It would soak a lot of the bane lanes. You could transfuse it, which is always cool to see as well. But poor Bly, who just wants this to end so badly, can't quite squeeze out this 3-0. Not just yet, at least.
I guess let's so Nerchio might just be like, you know, if you're gauntlet, whatever, man. But let's also think of ways that I guess he could come back. And
oh, the bailings are gonna go off on everything.
Okay, well,
spines die, queens die, everything dies. It's a death
finally
festival.
Everything dies. Finally, everything dies.
This is John wanted to take a third. Sorry, it's not happening.
Yeah, okay, he's gonna tap out. There you go.
All right, congratulations to Bly, who will take the series 3-0 in a damn impressive manner to see him beat Nerchio. I mean, that is just... That's all kinds of impressive, I gotta say. So, congratulations to Bly. Nerchio, of course, finishing second place. We'll still get some prize money. And we wish Bly the best of luck as he heads on over to the Gauntlet next. Big shouts to everybody who tuned in today, though. We got $498.22 raised for a nice username / us to handle DreamHack Austin. So, if you're gonna be at DreamHack Austin, Zomgrab and I will be there. Olivia's going to be there, only Molly from chat. And now, of course, with Fear Dragon and Joey, it means all 5 members of BaseTradeTV are going to be at DreamHack Austin. Really excited. Really awesome. Going to be good times. But, man, I don't have a lot to comment on this. Chat just got so bad during this last game, and I don't know what happened. Like a bunch of mouth-breathing idiots who probably should have been swallowed by their mothers instead of birthed, like Cute SC2, unfortunately thought they could put their crayons down for 2 seconds and voice an opinion that would matter. But sadly it doesn't. Anyways, that's going to wrap up the cast. Quick sponsor shoutouts obviously go to Corsair, making all this happen. Every single week, they're putting on cups for you guys. We may have to move the next one, actually, because there's some potentially conflicting stuff that some of you are going to have to schedule after the cast is done here. But we'll move it. We won't cancel it. But, yeah, without Corsair, we wouldn't have this awesome cup. So scroll down below, guys. Check out the links. Click them. Visit the website. Let them know that they had visitors from BaseTradeTV by clicking on those links. Our other sponsors, of course, over here, Yord, Cheers for Gaming, G2A. You guys know the deal. You know the drill. We're going to have the stream here, though. So, Zombie Grub, it was great to have you back. I certainly missed you. I look forward to casting with you this week. Any final words before we go?
Follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming and on my Twitch, Zombie Grub.
All right, and of course, for me, guys, follow me. It's at Riff_Kings. Follow the channel at BaseTradeTV, and we'll find out this week whether I save it or shave it with the mustache. So, have a good one. We're going to end the stream with a couple of commercials, and then probably go find somebody to host. Last shout-outs to B would be, if you missed any of the VODs and you're not subscribed to the channel, Nice Username's been doing a great job of getting them up ASAP on our YouTube. Big part of why we wanted to help him get to DreamHack Austin, because he's been doing such a good job. So youtube.com/BaseTradeTV. Our website, basetrade.tv/calendar, is also where you're going to find all of our schedules for everything coming up in the near future. These next 2 weeks are going to be incredibly busy for us, so we hope to see you almost every single day for StarCraft. But have a good night, have a good evening, wherever you're at, have a good afternoon, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.